Buonasera, Picciotti. I'm Mimmo Quartararo, and tonight I'll tell you about Jack Legs Diamond, the man who thought bullets were a joke, who climbed through luxury and women, and ended in paranoia and blood, smiling over a whiskey in 1931, before 3 shots put him down. New York, late Prohibition. The night smelled like gin and wet wool. I was running Canadian for a baker on Court Street who didn't bake. Capisci? We used flour trucks for crates that didn't hold flour. That's where Legs slid in. White tie, spats, a smile that opened doors, and a gaze that locked them. He'd walk into a room with a chorus girl on one arm and trouble on the other. Ooh. Like both were his wives, and both were hungry. I met him at a back table of the Hotsy Totsy. The band played low, the neon trembled, and the air was hot enough to fry nerves. He tapped his cigarette on his watch face, like time was a thing he owned. Paisa, he told me, your flour sacks look light. Let's fill them. I was Legs. Charm first, money second. Mercy never. We moved 20 cases that week from the river to Manhattan, as suddenly the streets around us were softer, like carpets appeared wherever he stepped. We had a little ritual when we did business. He liked a linen napkin folded once, placed under the glass, ice in the glass already whispering. He'd slide an envelope over with a ringed finger, never looking down. Amoni, he'd say to me like he spoke my mother's tongue. Don't be slow. Figil. The first time I saw him catch lead was outside a speakeasy near 52nd. 3 men with hats too low and hearts too light. Pop, pop, pop. He folded like a card table. Then he didn't. He sucked air, pressed a hand to his gut, and stood. Mamma mia, I muttered, because a man shouldn't be standing. He grinned. Told you I'm lucky. Luck turned a legend. Second time they found him on a road to Philly. Car idling, windshield a spiderweb, his blood pooling in the footwell. He still crawled out, laughing like he'd beat a streetcar fare. They can't take me, he said later, dotting whiskey drops off his robe with the same napkin he used for business. The third time, a clinic. He waved off a priest, waved in a dancer, made the doctor sweat with a wink. Each bullet he dodged bought him more noise, bigger parties, brighter shirts, riskier moves. With the noise came paranoia. The man who owned every room started checking every shadow. He made us swap hotel floors mid-dinner. He slept with a Colt under his pillow and 3 pillows on top. Curtains closed, rugs rolled, doors wedged. He leaned over me one night in the St. Regis, eyes like a fever. Mimmo, he whispered, you eating with Dutch? I said no. He cocked the gun anyway, aimed at my hands, watched for it tremble. Everyone's with Dutch, he spat, till they're with me. I didn't flinch, and that saved me that night. There were dinners, too, like nothing you ever saw. St. Joseph's Day, we put the bread in the middle and the saints on the wall, and he thanked nobody but himself. He brought his wife, poor Alice, sitting stiff, and the dancer with the mink who laughed like she didn't need air. He toasted with a line from some Irish poet, then pocketed a cop on the way out. He'd kiss both women, kiss the envelope, and say to me, "Tell your uncle the flour was excellent." We took a run up to Albany when the heat in Manhattan rose like oil in a pan. Troopers waved us through at midnight because their palms were never empty. But the morning was different. A young one with clean boots and a moral spine flagged us. My driver's hand went to the floor. I pressed his knee and smiled at the kid. "You like cannoli, huh?" The boy blinked. Behind him, a sergeant nodded. Our sergeant. The kid lowered the flag. We rolled on. That's how it was then. Codes, winks, a saint's card and a wallet. By 31, Legs had made enemies out of men who didn't use words much. Dutch wanted him under a stone. Coppers wanted him in a cage or in a river, whichever was cheaper. Even the Irish who toasted him had quiet bets going on how long he could hold up the sky. I delivered an envelope to a detective who never smiled. He slid it back. "Kid, your boy's dancing on a cliff." I carried that line back like it was hot iron. Legs listened, turned his ring, and doubled the bet. Tell him cliffs don't scare mountain goats. December in Albany, a thin cold that sneaks under doors. Legs beat a kidnapping rap that afternoon. The courtroom smelled like old wood and new ink. Reporters chased him down the steps. He waved like a prince who found his crown under the couch. We took a room that night. Cheap, discreet, thin walls. He said the fancy hotels made you soft. He wore striped pajamas and a silk robe. Poured himself a tall one and made a toast to his reflection. "Mimmo, to 9 lives," he said, "and counting." I stepped into the hallway to make a call. Our man downstairs wanted a word about a car idling too long. The hall was quiet, carpet soft, a dim bulb flickering at the far end. I heard knuckles on wood. 3 soft knocks. Polite, like Sunday. I turned back, hand on the knob. Legs opened in his pajamas, a smirk ready like a cigarette. "Who's knocking so?" he started. The man at the door was the kind you forget if you try. Hat sharp, face flat, eyes dead. No words. 3 shots. Thud, thud, thud. Clean. Close. Final. The glass in Legs' hand tipped. Whiskey rolled off his knuckles and kissed the floor. He looked surprised. Not afraid, just offended. Like the bill came before dessert. He touched his chest like he couldn't find the joke, then he dropped. I caught the door as it swung, stepped inside, shut it without a sound. The air stank of cordite and cologne. The silk of his robe bled to a deeper red around the ribs. He tried to smile again, the smile he wore after every miracle. Nothing came. I knelt and pulled the robe over his chest. Outside, footsteps faded down the hall like a woman leaving a dance. I didn't chase. That kind of night nobody chases. You memorize the way the light falls on the glass, the way a legend finally lies still. You memorize your own breath so you can slow it. I wiped the rim of the glass and the knob with the same linen he loved, folded it once, placed it under the tumbler. Sirens would find the room soon enough. They always do. What stayed with me wasn't the shots, or the blood, or even the smile. It was the quiet after. Every myth ends in a hallway with bad lighting. Men think they're immortal because the first bullet's missed. They forget the knock at the door is patient. In our cosa, paisa, honor is a candle you shield with your hand while you walk through wind. Some hands go cold. Some hands get greedy. Some hands just get old. Me, I learned to leave a room the way I found it, and to keep my story soft. The dead don't argue, and the living don't forgive.